awesome. Let's turn this down. Have some good, healthy debates going. So we need to get to the bottom of this. I'm in an awesome guild. Shout out to Dizzy and others in the guild disagreeing with my 10 commandments, specifically when leveling on based off profession, which is, so they're pushing back. So I want to keep encouraging that and hash this out. Here's, and then also in the video, I'll try not to make this video so long. I'm going to try to start doing more regular videos with DeFi Kingdoms Advanced Alpha. And okay, so I want to hit also, so we want to keep talking on this leveling issue in my 10 commandments. Also, I want to hit on, is it better to own Jewel or One? That's a big thing I want to hit on this video. I'll summon my Gen Zeros. We'll get some stones. I think the Stone Carver's still out. Is the Stone Carver? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's out. Set up. Set up stone carving. This is a new account for me, so I've never carved a stone. It's not currently available for this action. Huh. Oh, set up shop. Well, I think I've got the stones already. He's back. Okay, so we want to always make sure we get stones, because depending on the timing of when the stone carver's coming, you can make sometimes a lot more money by carving the stone and then selling it, even if you don't want to use it, which I recommend always using a stone, but that's even up for debate too, so we can hit on that. So I have some guys pushing back. Biggest thing I want to hit on this video as well, crystal or jewel. So for months, we've all been saying, buy jewel, don't buy crystal. Okay, but there's issues going on, obviously, with the Harmony blockchain. It seems like it's dying. They haven't handled things the best. So it's had me thinking for the past few days. And then Climb Crypto, shout out to Climb Crypto's channel. Love him, cracks me up. He always has something disturbing his video. If it's the ice maker, if it's the neighbor, he's a trip. Okay, so he hit on this last night too, and man, and I've been thinking on this. So it's interesting, why hasn't, especially in my mindset, especially now that everyone's going to Crystalville with their heroes to quest there, because now we have mining on Crystalville. Shout out to that. The team, the devs are working hard. My mindset would be buy Jewel, right? Because that's the gas. The gas fees are going to continually rise the more we can do stuff on Crystalville, and we need Jewel for that. So why isn't the parity coming closer? It's actually, it's split a little bit where Crystal's higher. It was getting real close. It almost got 1-to-1. At one point it did, like a month ago or so. Now, like ever since the Harmony Bridge hack, it's like, boom, Crystal separated. And now that there's questing and more things going in Crystalville, I thought it would come back, right? So I've just been, fortunately, I kept my Avalanche Jewel, which is, I've got a pretty substantial amount, not tons because it's just crashed so bad, but I used to have a real substantial amount in there. I've just gotten destroyed by this market. So fortunately I have a ton of locked crystal though. Okay, so in the bots, by the way, quest on both Serendale and Crystalville at the same time. I love it. Shout out to Carlo, he's our man. If he can't do it, no one can. Anybody can get a bot if you haven't watched my past videos. Okay, so I thought the more that the questing on Crystalville, the more the parity would come back 1-to-1 between Jewel and Crystal. So with my rewards that I've been getting in Crystal, oftentimes I've been lately selling them into Jewel. which has been fine because they're both kind of been going up. But this parity, what's going on? So maybe I've been thinking about this wrong, because you have the Harmony blockchain dying, which is where Serendale is, which is what most of Joule is used for still when it comes to summoning, and it's kind of like the safe, it's almost like a stable coin right now on Harmony. But that's dying. Okay, so people are realizing, okay, we're gonna need Crystal on Crystalville, but still at this point it's still cheaper to summon on Serendale. It's cheaper to buy heroes on Serendale, and Serendale still has duels, contests, things like that going. And so the use case obviously is still on Serendale. Plus, you have way more questing and way more transactions happening on Crystalville. Why isn't Joule going up? Shout out to Shorty. Yeah, baby. My Pomeranian. I got my kids here. Oh, okay. So, but maybe the mindset is, we're gonna need crystals on Crystalville. We're gonna need the crystal coin. And so it still seems like, okay, and especially the more that Serendale, the Harmony blockchain dies, and the more things we can do on Crystalville, it will probably happen sooner rather than later, it looks like, where everything, which is going to be a dream come true, because that just means more Joule's going to be burned, but it's also going to mean that we need more crystal, and there's way less crystal in circulation. With the mining, now you're going to start unlocking crystal, but it's more of a level mining playing field, and it's going to take a while. It's going to take several months. The unlocking is never just where tons of coins get dumped on the market. So that, I love how this project is one of the best projects in all of crypto, because the quality, the attention to detail, which is rare on Earth, but they have a great attention to detail. Now, it's not perfect. That's why I have these feature requests, different things. Go to talk.defykingdoms.com, get involved there, upvote things. I've got a couple things on there you can upvote. So you need Joule for gas. So use case for Joule, you need Joule for gas. It's cheaper to buy heroes and summon on Serendale, but that's going to potentially decrease, whereas summoning and buying heroes on Crystalville are going to increase. So that's the use case for Crystal. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going. More focus on Crystalville, which will mean more need for crystal. There's less crystal in circulation. And if Serendale kind of dies off, the only use case for Joule then will be the gas fees, but the gas is so low that maybe crystal is the way to go in the short term. In the long term, I still feel like Joule's the way to go over crystal, especially once Serendale's moved. It's looking like, what do you guys think? Is it going to Polygon? Polygon has upgraded there. You know, because for a while, when it first really popped, when Aave and everything was really cooking like a year or so ago, 15 months ago, the Polygon blockchain was just popping. Tons of transactions were happening, and then it just got bloated, and you would have transactions stuck for days, driving me nuts. Okay, now I think they've upgraded the blockchain. The devs been hard. They're doing a lot. So Polygon has a lot going, and it makes sense. It seems like probably that Serendale, it's looking like the deals when Dreamer's talking about working deals with other partners, which is awesome. Shout out to Dreamer and the team for all that. I feel like it's probably going to be Matic Polygon blockchain where Serendale will be moved, and then it will really be the funeral for Harmony, I think. I mean, I don't know. For now, though, that's not happening, so I'm surprised there's not parity. So I think people are just looking ahead, maybe. And so maybe it's looking like I should be. And another reason here, this is helpful, is that when you come to the gardens, they readjusted. This is another kind of like writing on the wall that Harmony blockchain is going down. So this is still the largest pool, $33 million in this liquidity pool, but they're obviously saying, hey, this is probably a big reason why Jewel has been down, is because one is crashed. So the liquidity, when one is being sold, it's going to affect Jewel. But as this pool decreases, this is a use case for Jewel. If Jewel can separate from one's price, so they're going to kind of follow each other because of the liquidity in the Harmony blockchain. The majority of Jewel is in this pool, but now they've lowered the APR. This pool has gone down. You have Avalanche, so Avalanche seems bullish these days, just really because of this project. Avalanche put out a tweet. I started saying this in the video last night and then got sidetracked. They put out a tweet saying that already, like a couple days ago, that there's more transactions on the subnet of DeFi Kingdoms, on the Avalanche subnet, than, what did they say? Than like Ethereum and Bitcoin combined, or something like that. The entire blockchain is like twice as many. So just tons of transactions are happening, which means Jewel's being burned. Now you have major incentive for this pool to go down. I dumped my one. I just use it. And that's another thing too, is the gas fees are going just more and more. It's like I'm burning like 101 a day on each account, which is crazy. It seems like, I don't write that in stone, times 4 on 4 accounts. I'm just burning through so much one token. It's crazy. So the more we can separate one away from Jewel, that'll be good. That's an argument for the Jewel side, and get in these other pools that are you're way more incentivized. So you're kind of incentivized to start putting up some liquidity in here with Matic, but I don't think the Matic coin is anywhere near paired properly to the actual price off of the Harmony blockchain. I think it's still way out of whack. Not as bad as like one USDC, which isn't even, that pool's not even available anymore. One USDC, I think, has really just been obliterated. I don't know what is that. It's like less than 10 cents for one USDC. It's just destroyed. So I need to probably check. There's guys that probably already know this. How is the Matic price on the Harmony blockchain compared to the Matic price and everywhere else? Same with Phantom, same with Avalanche. Last I checked, it was still way out of whack. So I just like stayed out of these pools, but now maybe we should get in these pools to get better APR. I still have a nice pool with Crystal Avalanche in Crystalville. So it's going to help Jewel when we can disconnect from the price of Harmony 1 token. Okay. So let me know your thoughts. What's better? Is it better to own Crystal or Jewel? I had in this guild that I'm in was saying, okay, they're saying still Jewel. So still Jewel. So, and maybe that's right. Okay. And it seems like that's the case still to me. as well. All right, I'm trying to get to this chat okay, now I want to talk about this debate we have going. Ugh, this keeps messing up. Okay, so if you watch my previous two videos, I've hit on this a lot. So this debate with the 10 commandments of DeFi Kingdoms, when leveling up. So 10 commandment number 2, or 10 commandment number 1 is understanding that the game is all about leveling up your heroes and that all heroes are good. So the mindset, so I still want to also maybe debate a little bit on the mindset of just crap heroes. Maybe not. But all heroes ultimately are good in the game. Okay, so now the more time goes by and the more mythics and legendaries are leveled, like when we start having, like we get to a level 50 mythic hero, that's going to be a substantial difference between a common level 50 hero. But all heroes are good. Okay. Or like a Dread Knight versus a common hero. Okay. So I had Dizzy, shout out to Dizzy. So I love the pushback. Let's get to the bottom of this. I'm still in my mind, my mindset is I disagree with this, but I'm all ears. I could be wrong. Okay. Maybe I will have to update my 10 commandments. Okay. He said, I would highly recommend updating your 10 commandments if you make another video. I could not possibly disagree more. So he's like really disagrees. Okay, this is good. It's juicy. With your advice to level up all heroes according to their profession. According to Hubert, which is one of the devs, shout out to Hubert, who's awesome. Professions are a small part of a much bigger picture. Okay, but another thing that devs have made clear, so my pushback to this, the devs have made it clear like the foundational gene of the entire hero is their profession. Now this is true because the upside of this project, metaverse, all kinds of things going, this could go in a million different directions with a million different games being built around DeFi Kingdoms where our heroes will have all kinds of different utility all over the place. So in one game, some random game, maybe mana points is really important versus HP points, or because it does different things. Whereas but a big focus with this, we've all been waiting for months for duels, or not duels, for PvP. Golly, this keeps, every time I think somebody comments on this Discord channel, this guild, private guild that I got in. Thanks guys, I love it. Okay. I lost my spot. So Hubert said it's a small puzzle piece with the hero long term. Okay. Is the profession, but in the big picture, the profession is still the foundational, like the foundation gene of the hero. Even with that being said, okay. Gosh, dang it. I need to probably just screenshot it. How about that? I keep losing it and then I don't know where I am. Okay, I'm gonna screenshot it. So he says here, he said, according to Hubert, professions are a small part of a much bigger picture. I still agree with that. Obviously, we want to follow what the devs are saying. So I think it seems silly to throw away heroes' overall potential just for proofs. To be honest, when I saw you say sages should get decks guaranteed, that hurt my soul. He said, you should, all caps, never be giving sages guaranteed decks. Sages are combat heroes, not profession questers. It really doesn't make sense to use and then stones. So stones are a separate argument, which I'm going to hit on that as well. Okay. So here's my pushback to this, which I can't wait for PvP. We'll have more clarity because for one, it's still unclear. Yes, the profession gene is still a small cog in the wheel, essentially, in the big grand scheme picture of things. I agree with that, but it's still the most important foundational piece of the hero. And, so I also asked, there was more like, what's wrong with having Dex in PvP? Like, Dex is still good in PvP, right? So you have strength adds a multiplier to various actions, especially physical attacks and skills. So what they're saying is that some of these skills, these 8 skills, strength, dex, agility, vitality, endurance, intelligence, luck, wisdom, they're all going to play a role in PvP. But what they're saying is not all of these stats are equal in PvP. But have the devs said that? Did the devs ever say that some stats are better for PvP than others? That's a question. I've never heard that. So I've always heard that they're all important. So with Dex, it plays a lesser role in defense, but it still helps in defense, and it modifies attack damage for certain weapons. What if we come and find out that Dex is really important for PvP? So if you have a ton of heroes, for example, if you have a Sage Fisher and a Sage Gardener, which in my case, I have over 700 heroes, I have a bunch of Sage everything. So I have multiple Sage Fishers, multiple Sage Foragers, multiple Sage Miners, and Gardeners. And if I'm just following their profession, I'm going to have an array of Sages that I can use in PvP. And they're all going to be somewhat unique from each other. And if I still focus on the foundational part, which is their profession, gene, questing, so I have awesome Sage Fisher. Then on that Sage Fisher, I'm focusing on agility, luck, and then he's still going to be a beast with wisdom and intelligence. You could, if I want to just focus on PvP, which this still is also debate, and for the longest time, I would just keep padding his highest stat, intelligence or wisdom, in that scenario. So in that scenario, that Sage probably won't have much Dex. But then I'll have another Sage that's a Forager that's jacked with Dex and intelligence and wisdom, potentially, and agility. And my Foraging Sage that's stacked with Dex and intelligence, both, I'm going to... And so he had another comment here that's really good. Dizzy did about even that. So he made an important point that if you have 100 intelligence and 10 dex, that's 110 total points. That's what the quest, when you go questing, it just combines the 2 stat points total. So he made a point that, but I'm still going to even push back on that and say, well, you could have even more dex and still have a zillion intelligence. So he made very possibly a good argument that even in my case, believing what I believe, maybe you should, for a Forager, always do intelligence as the guaranteed stat and then do dex as the 50-50 stat. Maybe. So I'm considering that argument. Okay, but if I level these guys up according to their profession, which is 10 commandment number 3, now I'm going to quest better for foraging. I'm going to level my foraging stat up better and quicker because I have more dex and intelligence both. And which in turn means I'm going to have a better ROI. And I know it's somewhat minimal, but it certainly still is a factor. The more you level, it's going to be more exponential. So I'm going to get more items, which gives me in turn a better ROI, and it also in turn will give me more XP, so then I can level the hero up faster. And then when it comes to PvP time, the dex I think will still be effective. So that's another big question. Why are we saying that some of these are better in PvP than others? Why is it dex not a good PvP stat? Is that really true? Because it plays a role in defense, a lesser role, and it also modifies attack damage. What does that even mean? What if that turns out having tons of dex, modifying attack damage, and then you throw on luck every time, and then because the luck, it increases chances of having, or the more likely it is for a hero to land a critical strike, so it increases the chances of having a critical strike, combined with dex, might just be a slam dunk. Like, we don't know that yet. That might be the perfect combo in PvP, having dex and luck stacked together. Because it modifies attack damage, having more dex. So if you get a critical strike with better attack damage, home run. Right? So I even wonder, I think about this all the time. I'm leveling up 20 heroes a day, wondering how PvP is going to pan out. Like having these knights and guys that are bad with luck and agility, paladins. Maybe having a paladin with lots of luck and agility is going to be an elite paladin. In dex, and a paladin with lots of dex, agility, and luck, and then also having, because he's going to be getting the strength and endurance and vitality and wisdom, maybe having the best paladin will have all those combined. Instead of having a paladin with a zillion strength, a zillion endurance, a zillion or a zillion wisdom, a zillion vitality, and like zero, he's so extreme, zero luck, zero intelligence, zero agility, zero dexterity. Or like 8. I'll see these guys in the tavern that's like 35 strength, 6 intelligence. Anyways, like, my thought is, isn't that bad for PvP still? I mean, I'm not sure. We don't know. How much do we know? Not sure. But so why not do what we know, which is level up our heroes. Having a sage with high dex might just be awesome. The sage is a defense guy too. Maybe. So, and it helps play a role in defense. What else plays a role in defense? I don't see anything else saying it helps defense. That's the only one that actually says, debuff resistance, endurance, maybe? Oh, it adds to defense. So endurance is your defense and debuff resistance. Obviously, it's probably going to help them have more endurance in the battle, maybe too. That's kind of what that's meaning. So, I don't know. That's why I'm loving this debate. Because maybe I'm wrong. I'm saying we know that a sage forager is a great forager, mostly because of the intelligence, though. The intelligence adds multiplier to various actions, especially skills and magic, and modifies magic evasion. This stat also plays into how much MP is gained when leveling up. So intelligence is seems to be an awesome one to have too. So I don't know. I can't wait till we get more clarity on the best way to level up. But what we do know, back to the 10 Commandments, we do know this. We know the game's all about leveling. The game is absolutely, all these guys would agree with this. The game is all about leveling your heroes. Doesn't matter what you want to use the hero for. Because I see a lot of people saying, I just have heroes that quest for me and like focus on questing. But is even that the right mindset? Why do we have heroes that we only focus questing? Like maybe your common basic heroes, like that's been the mindset for months too, for a lot of people that I've seen on YouTube, different things. But I think a lot of the common heroes will still be awesome PvP guys. Obviously though, it's gonna more and more have a drastic difference between a mythic level 50 is going to be a drastic difference having a mythic level 50 compared to a common. Right now it's not as drastic, but when PvP comes out, it's going to be more drastic. So it's all good points. It's all about those stat points, baby. So we know that. Here's also what do we know? We also know that foragers perform better with dex and intelligence. We know that. And the more dex and intelligence you have, the more bonus you get for the standard loot dropping rates. You're gonna the rates of the stuff you get from questing increase, which helps your ROI, and then also helps the hero then get more XP so they can level up faster. That's my pushback. Okay, I want to find real quick. I'm going to take the time here to find his other argument. He made another argument. Okay, that was really good counter argument. We can hit on the summoning stones too. Always use a stone, guys. So right now, especially, always use a stone. Okay, so Dizzy came back and said, I don't believe you should ever focus a sage on its profession. Even if you did, and I'm going to screenshot this. Even if you did, though you should undoubtedly be giving the guarantee to INT, right, intelligence. For proofs, the only thing that matters is combined stat total for foraging. That was a good point he made. It's the combo of dex and intelligence that matters. It doesn't matter if you have 29 intelligence and 1 dex or 15 intelligence, 15 dex. Good point. But you can still level both, which then will help your foraging, would be my pushback on that. The bonus rolls are totally independent of the class rolls, so by dedicating the guarantee to dex rather than intelligence, you're gaining literally nothing and potentially losing out on an INT stat point, which would best benefit you in both proofs and combat rather than just profession. I'm saying proofs, he means profession questing. So that's a good point he made. So maybe what I should be doing is that he's saying even with my mindset, I should not be doing dex as the automatic stat point. I should be doing intelligence and then doing dex as the roll, 50-50 roll. Okay, and I might take that one to heart, but then my pushback would be, how do we know that dex isn't also good for a sage to have combined with intelligence? How do we know that? Do we know that? Okay, but I'm hearing you on this argument that if anything, I'm gaining literally nothing, he says, by getting dex, and potentially losing out on an intelligence stat point, which would benefit you in both profession questing and combat rather than just profession questing. But like, where did you get that dex doesn't help in combat? I keep coming back to that. The price tag for sages comes from their combined potential, so it seems counterintuitive to spend the money for a combat hero. So he's saying that the Sage is a combat hero, but are we sure that all heroes aren't still good combat heroes? Because I never thought of a Sage being a combat hero. I always thought of a Dread Knight and a Dark Knight and a Paladin and a Knight and like if there are combat heroes, I thought they were the guys like with the swords, basically. So I never thought of a Sage like in a Dragoon. If in my mindset leading up to this moment, when I read this, I was like, interesting that he sees a Sage as a combat hero. Like, isn't a Dragoon more of a combat hero than a Sage? Seems to make sense to me. Maybe I'm wrong though. So that's why I love this dialogue. So I love you, Dizzy Dama. Okay. So the price tag for Sages comes from combat potential. So it seems counterintuitive, but so I bought a zillion heroes in the tavern. The heroes that don't sell are the ones that don't level up according to their profession, and the heroes that are just bad at their profession, like an archer gardener. You know, terrible gardener is an archer gardener. So those are the floor heroes always. But also the heroes I noticed that don't sell as quick are the ones that don't have the stat points leveled up according to their profession. So I would argue against that as well. I think. I could be wrong though. That's just from my limited experience. I have bought probably 400 plus, maybe 500 heroes in the tavern. I don't know how many I've summoned versus how many I've bought, but a lot of the ones I've summoned, I've sold. I stopped doing that though. I'm not selling anything. That goes. So let me finish this argument because I almost just jumped to the stone summoning argument. Okay. In my eyes, it only makes sense to give certain classes better odds for certain stats if those stats are going to be relevant to the class. Dex is one of the lowest stats to scale on a Sage, so I take that as Dex is one of the least relevant stats determining a Sage's combat proficiency. Man, this guy has a great argument. All of his arguments are really good. So I want to keep pushing back though and get to the bottom of this, and maybe we won't until it actually comes out, and then we'll only have hindsight to say who's right and who's wrong. So who knows who's right? Comment, give me your thoughts, tell me what you think. Okay. I shout out to the devs, the music guy. Which guy's the music guy again? I forgot. I remember I heard him one time. I love the music on this, especially this one and the tavern. I love this tavern music. Oh, okay. It brings the zen. Okay, so let's come back to the meditation circle though. Okay. So right now, I'm not summoning to sell anything. So, I mean, I guess it would make sense to get mythics, but if you look at the long-term trajectory of a basic mythic hero versus a mythic hero that's a basic hero versus a common Dread Knight, the mythic hero is still better at level 100. On average, if you look at the stats, on average, a level 100 mythic will have a better, more stats than a common Dread Knight. But the pricing, the floor price of the Dread Knight, last time I saw was like 3,500 jewel. The floor price of mythics are like 650 jewel. I just bought a level 5 mythic for like 660 jewel or something like that, because it was a knight fisher. Knights aren't good fishers, but man, that's, if you compare that to a common Dread Knight, that's a big discount, and it was already level 5. The floor Dread Knights aren't level 5 at all. They're level 1s. almost always. So, so I'm saying always use a stone to summon, because craft the stones right now. Let's see if we can. Is this still being wonky on me? Setup shop. Why can't I craft stones? What's going on? Let me go to my other account. Okay, I'll do that in a second. So let's say I have 4 Gen Zeros that I summon together. Wizard, Priest, Monk, Pirate. If I summon, I was flipping those sometimes, especially because I didn't have a bots. These bots now auto quest for me. So, and anybody can sign up for the bots. If let's say I get, my miner comes out as a common miner, and I was able to flip those. Like, it cost me 60 jewel to summon, and then they're worth like 150, 120 jewel, somewhere in that ballpark. I can sell them quick. I hate listing a hero for sale for like a week. I just want to get them moved. So, but right now, okay, so what? I just made 90 jewel profit. What is 90 jewel worth right now? 90 times where's jewel at? Is it up to like 17 cents today maybe? Let's just say jewel's at 17 cents. I think it's probably closer to 16 cents. So I just made 15 bucks on that summon. Or I can, and so his argument is, if I use a stone, it takes away my profitability. But for one, someone in the tavern who's smart, now I understand it's harder to list a hero in the tavern when you're not at or near the floor of whatever it is, the floor of a mythic or the floor of a level whatever, or the floor of whatever you're trying to sell. It's harder if you're not at the floor to sell that. But it will add value to the hero if people can notice that in the tavern, but they probably won't notice in the tavern. That would be his argument. But I'm saying, don't be selling things right now. Like, quest that bad boy. The ROI on that, if you believe in the project and Jewel, it's going to go up. And the value of heroes are going to go up. So I'm not trying to squeeze out any money. It's like you're trying to squeeze juice out of it. What's the saying? Juice out of a turnip or whatever. Right now, everything is so low. It's just stupid how low the value of everything is right now. So now's not the time to be selling. Now, could it keep going down some more? Yes. But if you ask me, I'm not selling anything. When things go back up, there's more demand, PvP comes out, and this thing pops, okay, then I'll start selling some. I'm just, for now, playing the game the way it's intended to be played by the devs. And yeah, I'm trying to still do little things to help my ROI within the game. So I'm not saying it's bad to sell heroes right now that you summon. That's okay to sell heroes that you're summoning, because then you can buy more heroes, or you can do something else with the jewel. That's fine. But I don't know. So my thought, it's an absolute, unquestioning no-brainer to have tons of stones, because you can even flip the stones and double your money instead of going to sell all your stuff to get jewel or whatever. Some days I go in there and I'm selling my gold and my bloater fish and and doing all that to get more jewel. Okay. Instead of doing that, you can craft stones. And when, like, after the stone carver goes away, when does he go away? That's so weird. What is going on? What is happening? Okay. When the stone carver goes away, and it's been like 5 days, and people are running out of stones and they need stones. Oh, is that why he's gone? Did I miss the stone carver? I was going to do it last night even, but I was like, I'll do it in a video. Never mind. Looks like I just missed him. 4 days. Oh, You're killing me. You're killing me. Okay, so I missed them. I think I still have the stones I want, but I still have stones for sure. I'm gonna summon. So some guys say, well, I'll sell heroes that I don't want, but keep the heroes that I want. Regardless, you're going to want to be using stones, because what if you do happen to summon that perfect mythic hero that you want? You would have wished you used a stone. So always use a stone. Otherwise, like, why are you summoning? I guess there's an argument to be made that if the purpose of your summoning is just to sell the hero, period. Okay, I guess it makes sense to not use a stone. But why are you even doing that right now, especially in this time? Because, I mean, what are you going to make on that? So shout out to Faulty Poker. He's got a product that helps you summon. And he's saying, well, the product really only helps if you summon to sell. Well, no. Faulty Poker, my man. The product still helps to summon if you're wanting to summon something specifically that you want to keep and maybe later sell. But I totally disagree with that. But Faulty Poker, I think, has just been geared for months. Right now, I don't think he is. I think he's been discouraged probably with this product. But he's got an awesome product that helps you summon. And I just haven't been summoning much lately. But then just lately, I'm like, you know what? I was buying heroes in the tavern. I'm like, I can summon. I have all these Gen 1s. Might as well be summoning these guys. So I was merely only summoning to get more gardeners and more heroes, because there's cheaper to summon Gen 1 10 out of 10s that I have several of from my Gen 0s. It's way cheaper to do that, and I can kind of do what I want to do. And I'm using a stone when I summon, so I can just... Man, the ROI on those bad boys are going to be awesome. So, Faulty Poker, your product isn't just for selling, summoning to sell. Your product is good for everything. He's just been in the mindset it's to summon and then sell. No, you want to summon and hold. And your product does the same either way. All right, that's my take. Okay, so let's keep this dialogue going, guys. Dizzy, let's keep it going. I love it. So don't worry about hurting my feelings, because I actually want, if I'm wrong, I want to be proven wrong. Absolutely. Hey, this is something we could shout out to the team about, maybe. Like, are some of these stats are some of the stats inferior in PvP combat than other stats? I haven't necessarily ever heard that. I've heard people kind of insinuate that. But so he's saying the Sage is a combat hero. I've never heard that, so that was a first. I'm like, okay, well that's cool, because I love sages. So yes, I have lots of sages, all spread across everything. I have gardening sages that will be in the past. So what I've usually done in the past, if I have a gardening sage, I'm doing vitality, wisdom, intelligence. But now lately I've been doing luck, a lot of luck. But maybe for a sage, does a sage strike? Maybe that's more of like a knight, paladin, warrior, because they suck at luck. Maybe getting those guys to have a better critical strike. I love this dialogue. Okay. And just from foundationally speaking, if you level them up according to their profession, it means in the end, what it ultimately means is that your hero will level up faster. Which in turn means you're going to get all the stats that you want faster. Good argument, though, on maybe for the Sage, instead of doing the auto stat as Dex, I should be doing the auto stat as Intelligence and then doing the 50-50 roll as Dex. Because the Sage... But then my argument, too, is, well, what if in PvP it's better for the Sage to accompanied with his awesome intelligence and wisdom and agility, vitality, accompanied with those 4 stats that he's really good at, especially wisdom and intelligence, maybe Dex is good to have accompanied with those. But I have a ton of sages, all my fishing sages, all my mining and gardening sages aren't going to have a ton of Dex anyways. So why not have some sages that are good at Dex? Because we still don't really know. This is all we don't really know. If someone really does know, I want to hear it though. I want the inside scoop. Okay, let's summon my Gen Zeros. Okay. Refresh. Oh, where am I? I was going to do something earlier. What was I going to do? So I'm off my main. I have all these counts. Okay. Let's summon Gen Zeros. And back to the crystal versus jewel, which is better to own right now. I still am having trouble wrapping my mind around, up to this point, why they never hit the 1-to-1 parity. They were like so close, and then it split up again. And it's got to be because of the one pool. So it still seems to make sense to keep pounding the jewel over the crystal until they're back to 1-to-1. Seems like that makes the most sense. I keep going back and forth in my mind. Okay, Gen Zero, summon. I have these buttes. I almost bought more Gen Zeros. So what I did when I got destroyed by the Harmony hack, just destroyed. I was already destroyed in those pools. I first got into this game at the end of March, so I'm a late comer to the game. I came in when I had bought a little bit of Jewel at like $4 and $5 and had a little bit going in the pools, but we're just talking hundreds of dollars. I came in and put thousands, tens of thousands in at its highs, thinking because the more I looked into the game, the more I fell in love with the game, and I thought it was on its way to blowing past its all-time highs. I was like, this is gonna flip Axie Infinity in the market cap, and I was like all in. But I still was like trying to be smart, and I was like kind of dollar cost averaging here and there, buying heroes, putting. I didn't just dump it all in at once, but man, has it destroyed me. And then the Terra Luna situation destroyed me the most. This also just wrecked me, and then throwing Voyager on top of that has just been. And all the people that I helped get into crypto, like newcomers, most of them were in Voyager. Yeah. Okay. So what I did in the Harmony hack when that happened was I was like, what do I do with these coins? So I was just buying heroes. I was like, I know that these heroes, I got hammered right away, but at least I had the heroes to show for it. And so that's how I did. So I almost bought some Gen Zeros, but I just couldn't. It wasn't quite where I wanted it to be compared to other. I was kind of focusing on higher level heroes. This was before I thought I could ever use a bot. I never thought I could use a bot. But shout out to Carlo. In the description below, any Joe Blow can sign up for this bot as long as you understand MetaMask, which if you're playing the game, you do. It's on the Polygon Matic blockchain. No brainer. Okay, so I have Priest Wizard, and you always want to, I can't wait till he's a level 10. You always want to up your Gaia tiers, because what this does is it's going to give this priest more, it's going to give the baby, the hero that I summon will get 1 extra intelligence stat point. He'll get an extra stat point. And then I'll show you what happens. I have this wizard who's level 10 now. And so you can up the tiers to 30 tiers. And so he's going to also get an intelligent stat point because because intelligence is his best stat point. They're both intelligence. And so the baby is going to have 2 extra intelligent stat points. Plus, because this guy's level 10, it's going to add an extra percentage chance when leveling to intelligence. So it's just 1%. But imagine having a level 100 hero. Summoning is going to be a beast. So you want to be careful how you use your summons, because that's valuable. And then always use a stone. So what stone should I use? Well, in this case, they're both miners, and usually the hero that I summon is a miner. So I'm trying to get a summoner here, but my chances on this summon most likely are priest or wizard, summoner, and they're going to be a miner. Well, what are miners weak at? Now this comes back. This is another right back, same argument. So I'm saying always follow profession. Well, these awesome guys in the guild who make strong arguments say no, you want to focus on the stats that that hero's good at. So with that argument, I might want to use a lesser wit stone. Actually I have a greater stone right here, baby. I have a regular, what is that? That's a greater insight stone, which gives, the insight gives wisdom, not intelligence. So greater insight stone, it gives 8 stat points to wisdom, just automatic. So this guy is going to get born with 8 stat points. So back to this guy's argument, if my focus isn't on profession but on PvP, like in his mindset, I'm going to just have a monstrous wisdom hero here. Whether or not it's a summoner, a priest, or a wizard. It also gives 7% to primary stat growth future when leveling, and 21% to the secondary stat growth when leveling. Like, I love these greater stones and greater crystals. But I'm not going to do that. I'm saving it. I usually use the greater stones when I'm trying to summon a Dread Knight. And so I'd rather have that stone go to a Sage, Dragoon, or Dread Knight, or whatever. So if I hit that Dread Knight, whew. Okay, so what I've been doing, based off my mindset, is these guys have a weakness, and this is going to drive Dizzy nuts. Sorry, Dizzy! Because it's probably a miner. Their biggest weakness for a summoner, a wizard or priest is strength. So if you use these lesser stones, it's +4 to strength, just 4 extra stat points of strength. That's what I've been doing. Okay. Oh, I don't have enough jewel. Shoot. Okay. I could send myself. Maybe what I'll do, instead of doing all this, I'm going to come up here real quick, switch accounts, go to account 1. I have jewel here. Oh, you're killing me. I need to add it. Okay. This will take 5 seconds. I'll do it as quick as possible. I have 318 jewel. When I do this, how do you add the jewel besides going to CoinGecko and copy, paste? But here I can just add jewel to MetaMask. When you swap it, I always try to do that. Okay, so now that it's added, I can just come here, come to assets, send the jewel, hit send, and I want to send it between accounts. I'm on my main account, and let's send 120 Joule minimum. Next, confirm. There's no bots going on this account, so it should just go right through. Okay, let's come back and summon. And then I'll wrap up the video. There's so many more things I could talk about though, so I'm just gonna try to do more videos, like videos every day, shorter videos. Tell me what you think. I love the feedback. Don't worry about hurting my feelings. If I'm crazy, if I'm boring, tell me. Won't hurt my feelings. Okay. Back to the portal. I'm gonna refresh. I have the Joule now. Let's do this. And don't misunderstand me, I'm always open to changing my mind. It's possible I could change my mind and modify the 10 Commandments, in which I would be doing like a wit stone or a intelligence stone, which is the wit stone, is the intelligence stone, by the way. Okay, but for now, I'm gonna keep doing. I don't think I actually need to approve that contract. I've already done it. All right, let's see what we get. And you'll see that the intelligence will have 1 extra percentage chance of getting. Let's come to the summoner. I am battling with a bot on this account, so sometimes you just got to push through again. Like I had somebody yesterday in one of the guilds say like, I wasn't able to do something, so I'll wait till tomorrow. Well, no, you just kind of probably got to close it out, give it a second, and then try again. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Okay, here we go. These guys, these have been just, the Gen Zeros have been so awesome. Even though my average buy on those 4 Gen Zeros was probably something like 15 grand each, which is brutal. Bummer. It's a foraging. Interesting. So I hit the strength, not going to help towards the foraging. That's rare that those two, they almost always, like 9 out of 10 times probably, maybe it's more like 7 out of 8 times, something like that, get a miner. They just, if you look at there's different sites you can look at. One of them, let's see, which site is it? Yeah, this site, Adventures in DFK, dfk-adventures.hero.kuapp.com. This will tell you like so much about the hero, everything you need to know, I think. It's an awesome website, Adventures in DFK. Okay, so, but hey, what's awesome about this summon is that the purple intelligence stat, just imagine if I'd used that intelligence stone. He would have come out, that 8 intelligence stone, he would have come out with with 23 right off the bat as a Gen 1, as a level 1 hero. 23 intelligence. If I use the greater stone. But here, look. It added the 2, okay, but it also added that 1 extra percentage point too. And here, what is the subclass? Matters pirate, which that's good actually for this hero, because look, the dex will be good in the subclass for a forager. Okay. Whereas the intelligence is at 83%. That's actually pretty good. And I got the extra 2 stat points. It's green and blue combined. Okay, I'll take it. That bad boy, I love it. And so instantly it's worth, if I wanted to make the 15 bucks, I could go list this guy for sale in a tavern. And obviously the stone's still gonna help. Using a lesser stone, seems like you can almost make that money up if you're just even trying to flip the hero. But that's where these Gen Zeros, man, But let's just say we get Jewel back to $1 in Crystal, which I think is very realistic to have $1 Jewel. Man, the ROI just on summoning. So the Gen Zeros are just awesome. And I've gotten some mythics. I always like to refresh, right? If this guy's still sitting there and you summon again, I recommend refreshing because he won't pop up a lot of times, or that guy will still be there even though the other guy did actually summon. So I always recommend hitting refresh. Okay, and let's summon my pirate and monk now. These guys are not yet level 10, but getting close, getting there. And so, again, this is the debate we have going. I use the Wit Stone on these guys. The lesser... No, not that one. This one. The lesser Wit Stone, because they're both foragers, and their weakness is intelligence. So I want to... Their baby, if it's, let's say it's a ninja forager, that's what we're going for. His weakness in foraging is also intelligence. So I'm gonna right away help pad the stats that these guys likely will be, and the weaker stat. Now I bet Dizzy would say, no, these guys are good at Dex, get Dex. Is that your argument there? Or would you just say that Dex is a bad PvP stat, and monks and pirates are bad PvP heroes? Is that the argument there? I'm not sure that's true, but hey, if I'm wrong, I'm all ears, baby. Okay, so I always use Lesser Witstone for these guys. I'm getting a luck stat, an automatic luck stat, because it's his highest stat is luck for this pirate. The baby's getting an automatic luck stat. The highest stat for this monk randomly is vitality, and so I get an extra vitality stat point. The hero I summon. I always use those Gaia tiers. Okay. So please, I appreciate the time people have been giving in criticizing my 10 commandments. I love it. Does not hurt my feelings. And so if you want to take the time to give me a counter argument, I'm all ears. And it definitely, you've had my wheels spinning all day on this. So I am all ears more than you think. It might seem like I'm stubborn. But I hope my counter argument back, Dizzy, makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, I'll re-explain. It looks like this isn't happening, so I gotta redo. This happens a lot on botting and just the Harmony blockchains at wreck. Sometimes they don't go through. I go and clear that transaction, which I don't think that really matters anyways, but I do it because I'm OCD. And let's do this again. Boom. Gaia tier. Boom. Boom. Gaia tier. Stone. Lesser Wit. Done. Summon. So, to reiterate my argument, we know the profession questing, I'm saying, is the foundation, because that, now I know there's going to be more questing down the road. We're going to have more questing options. There'll be level 10 questing, profession questing. That'll be exciting. So, but what we know is that we want to be building that profession stat level, the profession gene stat level, and we want to be building, and if a forager has good dex and intelligence, they're going to have more likelihood to get more drops, which will help your ROI, which then in turn helps you to level up faster, which helps you get more stats, which makes the better hero. And those stats, my argument, are going to be good in PvP regardless. What makes some stats better than others in PvP? The reason why Sage is going to be good at PvP, but why is a Sage better than a Dragoon at PvP? Is it? Like, I thought Dragoons had like a 1-up on a Sage. I don't, when I think of PvP, obviously, yeah, magic is used, okay, but I thought it's like the lesser thing than just having a beefed up, jacked, like, knight and warrior. Like, you think warrior, that's a PvP guy, right? No? I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I don't know if anybody really does. Got a rare, pirate, priest, fishing. Super rare. Almost always these guys get me a forager and a miner. But hey, I'll take a rare pirate fisher that has an extra 4 given to his intelligence, which still is only 9. His vitality, so he got 1 extra vitality plus the 2 for green. I still don't understand, why did he get 12 vitality though? I guess he would have otherwise popped out with 9 vitality. Then he got an extra luck as well. So love it. Love it. All right. I'm going to wrap up. Love you guys. Like, subscribe, bell button, comment, push back. It's fun. Thank you also for letting me join in the private guild. If anyone's interested in getting more involved in DeFi Kingdoms, join the guilds. And you can, it's like, you just have to get an approval that says, hey, you're a real person and you're gonna have good vibes. We need good vibes in the guild. Not, don't be a douche. Don't join things and be a douche. Have good vibes. That's what ultimately the guild wants. Someone who's passionate about DeFi Kingdoms, good vibes. Yes. Love. Peace out. Like, subscribe, bell button. Crypto Grady out.